Good morning. That's not the right time of day. Hi, welcome to Adventures in Lollygagging. If anyone's in the channel, thanks for joining us. I'm Jeff. If you are watching this on VOD later, if you are watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching. Catch us in channel live sometime. We'll go around here in a minute, maybe, and do we haven't really done like a refresher on the character you're playing, so maybe it would not be a bad idea to just drop a familiar reference like really quick on who you are and that kind of thing. We've got a couple other shows and things that I'll plug really fast. So in addition to Mutantyearzero, which we play usually Fridays or Saturdays, it flip-flops from time to time. Sometimes it's Fridays at 8 Central, and sometimes it's Saturdays at 6 Central. Follow the Twitter at Lollygaggerco for announcements of those times. We also got on Monday, we drop our ongoing podcast, which is audio only anywhere you get podcasts for Zweihander. That's just look for Adventures in Lollygang. You can find it. On this channel, twitch.tv/the Lollygaggers, on Monday, Melissa and I are playing in a brand new show that is so much fun. It's way more fun than this show. I really wish I was playing in that tonight as opposed to this. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
But it's really good. And that one, it's called Heart, The City Beneath. It's pretty fantastic. We're 2 episodes in. 3rd episode's dropping on Monday, so come join us then. We got a lot of our friends from a few other channels who join us. And then Thursdays, we just finished up our Ailing Isle show last night over at twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG. It was awesome. It was fun. Ashley had a beautiful and wonderful and tragic moment at the very end. I won't spoil it, so you should go watch it. It's great. And we're starting up a brand new story this Thursday. So that's going to be 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/ZweihanderRPG, The Unsettled Stem. It's going to be fun. And so that's basically it for now. So do you want to just refresh people's memories on what you're playing? So Ashley, go ahead, give us your character's name and just something we should know about them.
I'm Helena 7. She's from the cat tribe. And she is our primary healer, but she's kind of on the cusp of, does she want to heal or does she not?
Mm-hmm. I like how her first big dream is to kill somebody. That was to murder.
Yeah.
And it's going to constantly be coming back to you.
Yeah.
That's what I've settled on. Long, tell us about McCloud.
Yeah, I'm playing McCloud, which is a fox in the dog tribe. And he's just trying to find a better place for his tribe. He's a seer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he wears that fun little hat with the little twirly thing.
Yes, the spinning hat.
Melissa, tell us about Hamill.
Hamill 76 is a weasel in the Badger tribe. Her initial dream was to find a cure for her ailing brother, but instead in episode 1, her brother was taken by the Watchers.
You let it happen. The same.
He was taken by the Watchers.
You let your brother get taken. You basically handed your brother to them. You're like, here's my brother, take him. That's my memory of it.
So her new goal, because she is a hunter and trapper, so her new goal is to try to come up with a cool new trap.
Okay, cool. Derek.
Yeah, so I play a chameleon scavenger whose name is Tchaikovsky 40. We call him Chai, like the latte, just to keep things simple. And he is basically like a dumpster diver, but to him it's wonderful treasures and not trash.
Cool. Don't you have a few back in the old homestead? You got the grenade, the megaphone.
Yeah, I've got the grenade couch. I've got the megaphone, and then I've got the camcorder without a battery.
Nice. Find a battery.
Just pointing at his bed.
I'll give you a battery once I figure out what I want to do with that video camera, and then you'll get a battery.
I like that it's pointing at my bed. That's a good one.
And Logan.
My character's name's Cujo 31. I'm the warrior for our tribe. I come from the Badgers. I'm a Wolverine. I'm kind of a loner type. I was raised by one of the elders named Gretzky 99, who's kind of falling out of favor a little bit in our tribe.
A little bit.
There's a little bit of a inner tribal conflict going on right now that may see some rise in the next episode or 2.
Yeah. All right. So quick summary. We went ahead and did a mission last week or so. I started a little bit before that where they were heading to the cat tribe where they're looking to recruit some new members to the resistance. They got a lead, Helena did, about a group of mountain lions called the Magnums who live all the way up in the mountains somewhere in Paradise Valley. They hide out in their own little private place away from where most of the cats stay. Along the way, Tchaikovsky nearly got burnt to death, then took a swan dive off of a cliff into a giant the pile of burnt up and barbecued pigs. But they found him. He was okay. They continued up the mountain, met the Magnums. The Magnums gave them an opportunity to win their favor by having the cell assist them in recovering one of their lost or captured members, Baptiste, who was taken by a group of rat, mice, hamster moonshiners up in the hills above Rat Castle. And so where
You make it sound so easy.
Yeah.
First they were like, how about you get the fuck out of here? That was fun.
I clipped that because I really like saying that. Yeah, just go ahead and turn right around and get the fuck out of here. That's like one of my favorite voices to do. So then, yeah, you guys managed to head over there. You found the place just fine. Logan with Cujo and Longlia with McCloud did their best to try to talk, but it just didn't quite work out. And a bloodbath ensued where a bunch of rats and cats got slaughtered or knocked out, broken. And we ended with Crowder, the guy whose voice I just did, shooting Mags, the leader of the moonshining rats, in the head, killing her. And that's where we're going to pick up. So you look around, it's dark. There's all these rats on the ground that are wounded. They're like, all sorts of pain, blood here and there, broken bones, cats as well. Some of them are being helped up here and there. But Crowder is up. So are some of the others. If you want to, I'll go ahead and pop you back on the map if you want to refresh your memory. We don't need to actually do the full map, but just to refresh the player's memory. But you look around, you got this, if you recall, there is a camper of some kind near where you were doing most of the fighting. Then there was a broken down cabin, roof still intact, but one corner of the building, the southwest corner of the building, completely caved in. You can see that some of the cats are starting to round up the rats and mice and hamsters, and they're very threatening. Some of the rats are fighting back. Others are just like asking for mercy and whatnot. So what do you guys want to do?
Hamill, the first thing that Hamill's going to do is try to scurry around the outside, kind of not sure exactly what's going to happen next because she ran out of stones. So first thing she's going to do is kind of scuttle around and like pick up some more stones. So in case there's another need to throw some stones somewhere, she's got some handy.
Roll 2d6 and take that many stones.
The guy I pinged, he's the only one who I haven't healed to pick up yet, so I'm going to try and heal him.
Okay, so go ahead and roll your heal test. And don't forget, we got them new macros this time. So you got 6 stones of decent size for your slingshot. A lot of the other things you see are a little too big. Do you want to push that?
Yep. Okay.
Take 1 point of instinct damage, whatever that's called. I always forget. And they will eventually heal on their own accord, but they look pretty worse for wear. We'll say that's Arlo. But
I walk up to. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just say, Chai is going to walk up to Crowder, and he'll say,
"So what are you going to do with all these rats that they're unarmed? They can't even defend themselves."
So he's going to hold up his revolver, and he's like, "Well, we're going to let fate decide." And he just spins. Puts it back in, holds it to a rat's head, and click, and then fires. And we'll say on a 6, it's a bullet. And so it's a click. Oh, I guess this one gets to live.
I'm gonna step in front and just kind of like try and knock his gun out of his hand and say, "We don't need any senseless executions going on here."
Roll a force test.
While he's doing that, can I go inside the building and find Baptiste?
Yeah. So you head inside of the actual building, and you can see that there's a couple little. You can push that if you want. You see that there's a couple.
Motherfucker.
This is going to be one of them nights again.
We've got new macros, and they still don't help us.
As you try to push him out of the way, he just, "What are you doing, son?" He just pushes you down. You stumble to the ground. So like, "Same team, dumbass." And then he goes up to the next one, does a spin.
I'm gonna roll dominate.
And he'll click on the next one, and the rats are like, Yeah, go ahead. Let me check his rank really quick, because he's got a decent rank if I recall. Might be higher than yours. This is Crowder. He's got a rank of 7.
I'm at 6.
Okay, so it'll be a -1 mod. You and McCloud are right next to him, but we'll say probably one of his cats are with him, so we'll just say just -1 mod.
So I'm basically going to walk up to him and say, "We came here to save lives, not take them." And then
Okay.
I'm gonna, let's see here.
Go for it.
I ripped it. I think it's just taking a second again.
Oh, is it?
We slowed
Damn
it down already.
Gosh. I thought I found a solution to our lag. Okay, so inside the cabin, while we're waiting for that roll to pop up, Helena, you see that there is a handful of bed rolls where it looks like most of Mag's crew has been sleeping. There looks to be an old school metal oven anchored to one of the walls that they've been using to heat themselves. There's a big old crate filled with all sorts of different vegetables and things like that. If you want, you can scour 1d6 plus 2 rations from it. So add 1. So roll a d6 and add 2. So you can get 4 rations from there. You also notice in the corner that there is a trap door, a cellar door, on which a chair has been placed atop it. But you don't notice anything. It's just one big room.
I'll probably call out for like Cujo or somebody.
Okay.
And say, and like get it ready to open, but I'm not going to open it by myself.
Okay. Let me roll sense of motion. Yeah, so you get in front of him. You tell him to calm the hell down. And that didn't roll everything. Let me roll. Man, everything's just all messed up. I got 3 more d6s here to roll. Okay, still fails. And he's like, looks at you and looks at all of these like scared rats. You can see Ava is kind of coming over and sort of taking your side on things, saying, blood, blood for blood. This isn't the way to do it. Like, if we just keep doing blood for blood forever, then the Watchers are going to win, that kind of thing. And he seems begrudgingly, all right, as long as we can find Baptiste, we'll just settle on just old Mags here. That's enough. And he walks over and just kind of kicks her in the face. And Cujo, you can hear Helena calling from inside.
Okay, I'll kind of swiftly walk over.
Okay. So Chai and McCloud, what are you two doing? Oh, thank you, sweet hot sauce.
Real quick, I'm also going to scavenge, or not scavenge, but also collect some rocks for my sling.
Okay. Same deal. Roll 2d6.
Found 3.
Take 2 more. You can have 5. Take 1.
Okay. And then Chai, of course, looking around for junk. I guess I'd go into like this camper thing right here, the mobile home.
When you peek inside, that looks to be their moonshine still. You can see there's all of these different these barrels and tin drums and stuff in there. There's a very, very surprisingly sophisticated setup. But this looks to be where they do their cooking.
Are there any bottles, like prepared bottles that I can pocket?
Yeah, you can definitely see that there are some bottles of not quite clear, translucent liquid in sort of mason jars and stuff like that, piled up here and there. If you want, you can go through them a little bit to try to discern which of these are worthwhile to take. If you want to go ahead and do a comprehend test, as you peek at them. McCloud, what are you doing?
I will call over Crowder. Mission's not over. We got a runner. and I'll chase after one of the rats that was running
Yeah.
in the northish direction.
Okay. So Tchaikovsky, you can take 2 points of wits damage there, and then you can pick up 2 bottles of, and you want to put this in quotation marks, moonshine.
Okay.
And we'll see what happens when you drink it later.
Yeah, it's probably going to be jars of piss.
Who knows? Okay, so McCloud, go ahead and roll a scout test. And by this time, Hamill, you're probably back if you want to do something else as well.
I would have heard while I was picking up stones that they were going to go kind of chase after somebody, so I'm up for that.
Okay, go ahead and roll a scout test then.
Reloaded.
Usually it takes me the whole session to drink the coffee, but I doused this with Kahlua, and so it's almost all gone already. I really
Are you trying to say you need to drink to play games?
I might
with us?
have to put up a BRB screen so I can go get a refill. It's delicious.
Might need another coffee.
Yeah. Do you want to push that? Hey, Woda, how's it going?
No.
No, you don't want to push that? Come on, it'll be fine. So, McCloud, Hamill, you try to chase this rat, probably was a mouse actually, off into the darkness somewhere, but they know the hills better than you do, and they disappear. You hear Crowder kind of shouting back there, like, "Oh, that's all right. Let him go. Let him go. I'm sure we'll find him a different time. No big deal." As the Wolverine boy said, we ain't here to take lives or something, whatever that nonsense was. Anyway, and so he'll start marching up the hill. He'll shout orders back to like Arlo and Ava to like keep an eye on the other rats that are now grouped up by their fire, sitting. They're disarmed, but they're sitting there kind of shaking, looking confused, wondering what the hell's going to happen. But Cujo, Helena, you go inside. Cujo, you're pointed out to the trap door by Helena, and there's a big old chair, like an old school reclining chair with all sorts of rips and tears in it. What do you two want to do?
I'll walk over to the seemingly trap door and inspect it, see if it's locked or how easy it is to open.
It just looks like a basic cellar door, and there's just something over top of it. That's it.
I'll move the chair out of the way.
Yeah,
and
you slide it
open
off.
the door.
Yeah, you slide it off, no problem. It makes a loud racket, and when the loud racket happens, you can hear movement suddenly below. And when you pull up the trap door, you can see 2 bright yellow eyes staring at you, and basically nothing else. And then you hear a hiss of some sort of like cat sound, and these bright white teeth. And
Helena will go, Baptiste?
And he says, yes?
We're here with Crowder.
I'm not hungry.
We brought you soup.
My name's Crowder, as he comes in. And you help out what is a Black Panther, a very dark, like jet black fur, big, bright yellow eyes, bound with their arms behind their back. They got coveralls on, similar to some of the other Crowders. Very thankful and everything. And he's not the only one down there, as you see a couple other cats come out as well. Don't really recognize them, but they're thankful nonetheless, as 3 people kind of get pulled up out of here.
As we're pulling them up, I'm going to cut them free of their restraints and then offer them some food and water.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Baptiste and the others take it very gratefully. And Crowder like, "Say, you old son of a gun, I told you we'd come for you." Yeah. Oh, man. Can't believe you got yourself nabbed to begin with. And just starts busting his balls a bit. But yeah, they seem to be in a jovial mood. They start scrounging around, looking for what they can find, picking up some pieces of grub that Helena didn't take already, and starting to pack some of them sleeping bags up, and like, "Oh, these will be useful." That's right. And yeah. So after a little while of everyone saving everybody, getting some food, getting some drink, everyone gets maybe an hour or so. You come back out front to the still. You got Tchaikovsky, who is holding up the jars to the moon to see if he can tell if anything's good. And the rats, you can see these 5 terrified rats or mice and hamsters, little mix. They're all kind of wondering just what's going to happen. And one of them speaks up and they're like, just so you know, we were just following orders. Mags, crazy. We don't subscribe to the same political viewpoints that Mags had. We're friendly. We just like to cook moonshine. That's all. We're not soldiers. We just cook the moonshine. That's it.
And then I extend my offer again. We are looking for resistance members. What say you?
Well, we're not really much of the soldiery type, as I just said. We just got our asses kicked pretty handily here.
I'm gonna hold up my punctured thigh and my busted intestine and say, I beg to differ. You guys really gave us a run for our money.
Oh, that's quite kind. That really is. But they kind of look around, and everyone's just, the other ones are kind of looking down, and suddenly this one is like, why am I doing the talking? Why don't you go ahead, McCloud, and roll a dominate check. I'm going to give you like a +4 mod because you got a bunch of people around. You got Cujo here, even Crowder, who at this point is just laughing and joking with Baptiste and the others, telling the stories and stuff.
Looks good.
Nice. What do you have? What do you have that gives you 4 gear dice for dominate?
Oh, you just said +4 mods. So
okay, you put them in there. Yeah, that works.
Yeah,
that works perfect. Okay, so I'll roll a sense emotion, but I doubt I'm going to beat that.
You are quite convincing.
It's the spinning hat.
And that is a fail. And they're like, well, as long as we don't have to go to the front lines or anything, we don't want to fight directly with the Watchers, but there's plenty of other things that we can do. You know, we can snoop and we could spy. We're quite sneaky and small. We can kind of get through all the burrows and all the different rocky terrains and things like that. And yeah, I mean, as long as you don't ask us to do anything too crazy, you know, we're really just shiners over here, you know. So, but yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we could find many things for you guys to do. It's not just fighting.
Sure. Now, are those mountain lions over there? They're not going to come on back here after you leave and take us out, are they? Because I don't know. They seem a little wild. Those there mountain lions.
As long as you're part of the resistance, then no.
We got some kind of assurance of that, do we?
I mean, we didn't kill you now.
That's true. But that doesn't mean that they're not going to come back and kill us once you leave, you know?
So Helena will turn to Crowder.
I
want to call him Chowder. I don't know why. she'll turn to Crowder and be like, so can we have a little bit of assurance?
All right. We ain't going to go killing them. Unless they come rumbling in our territory, then all bets are off at that point. And it's really old Mags we wanted to take out, to be honest. She's been a thorn in our bum for a better part of a couple years now. But these little sons of bitches down here, they don't look all that troublesome.
Oh, that's true. We're really very meek and weak. There's nothing at all you got to be worried about.
That's right.
And he's just playing with his gun a little bit, flinging it around.
Sure wish we could have played more of my game. It's quite fun. You want to play?
No. And so over the course of the night, it seems as if a tentative peace has been established. And I figure you guys probably want to camp out here tonight as opposed to trying to go marching through the wilderness, the mountains and stuff in the dark, which is going to be very, very dangerous. Is that fair to say?
This is true. Yeah.
I need to restore my wits because it's taken some hits between the last 2 sessions.
All right. So everyone either bunks out here or they bunk inside, find their own place, sleep.
Am I able to do the same check that Helena did on that vegetable container? If we're going to be sleeping here tonight, I imagine Chai would have eventually come across it looking for things to scavenge.
If you want, you're trying to like scavenge stuff from like
no. She when she got grub from it earlier, I was wondering if I could just do the same thing since we're hanging out here tonight.
Go ahead and I'll say roll a d6. You can find two bits of rations that you can go ahead
Cool.
and work on tonight or tomorrow. Eat your daily food. Wake up in the morning. Crowders are getting ready to head back. They're welcome. You're welcome to travel with them if you want. What do you feel like doing? Do you want to go back with them, or do you want to bypass them entirely and just go all the way back to Tchaikovsky?
I think we've established what we needed to do. Unless
Yeah, so
you
do
guys
we
have a reason to
confirm
go
that
back.
we confirmed that since our mission was a success, that Crowder will join the resistance, and that was why we came out
Mhm.
here, right?
Yeah, he's a
Y'all held up your end of the bargain, so we'll hold up ours too. Honestly, we're gonna be fighting the Watchers one way or the other, so if it makes y'all happy and we got some support and such, then that's fine. That's fine.
So yeah, they're definitely they're on board as well.
Yeah, I vote then going back to Truffaut.
Okay. So I can't remember. Is anyone doing anything else in the morning?
The only thing that Hamill wants to do, because we've been going to some herbivore places, so she'll just kind of chat up the cats a little bit just to see if she can learn any new trapping techniques that she may not already know.
From whom?
From any of the cats, because the cats are also hunters.
Okay, so you'll probably talk to Arlo and Ava as you talk to the two of them a bit, and they give you some advice on really trapping mainly for the mountains and the different things that you can get up here. They also mentioned that like there's a variety of different types of mountain boar. These things, like you've seen them before, they're the things that got lit on fire when Chai went off the roof. And they show you a fairly rudimentary trap that you think would do well. So it's not like the most amazing thing you've ever seen. It's basically like a bear trap, but without anything mechanical in nature. Just sort of putting a few pieces of wood together and a little spring, and you're good to go. And then I would say if you ever try to do any kind of hunting in mountain terrain, I'll give you a +1 mod on it.
Cool. Anything to take back that maybe what's his face doesn't actually know how to do?
Okay. And so as you're leaving, the mouse that was doing the talking comes up and says, if you ever need anything, you can find us down in the Rat Castle, or maybe up here. I'm Debussy 62. Rest of them don't even have names. Don't ask. It's not important. That's just me. I guess I'm in charge now. And they turn around and start cleaning up the mess, because it is a mess. And you all start heading back. Okay, so at this point, we'll say that you all begin retreating to Truffaut's eventually, filling him in on the success of the mission and how you're able to kind of double dip and get 2 cells. He seems to be fairly delighted about that. And then you start planning out your next, the next couple of weeks, all the different things that you're going to be doing. So we're doing another strategic turn. We already kind of started this, for those watching. We already started this a little bit to get a jump on it, to make it go a little bit faster. Longley did some of the rolls. So let's finish the rest of those rolls here really quick, and then we'll do some little drama scenes for everybody. So the rat, you have a rat cell at this point that you have sent to try to recruit more in the rat habitat. Rat habitat has a fairly high population. So you're looking to try to get more cells. Remember that you need 50 population to support a single cell, and if you ever drop below that, you'll lose a cell. So the rat cell was sent to the rat habitat. Unfortunately, there was also a reconnaissance mission going on by the Watchers at the same time. So the chance of success was reduced for a couple of reasons. One, the chance of success was reduced because of the insurgency rating, and then it was also reduced because of the Watcher. And the recon mission by the The Watcher operation also increases danger. So who would like to roll to see if the rats are successful on their mission?
I'll roll.
Not me.
All right, Melissa, roll 3 d6s. Just d6s are fine, and you need 1 6 to make this successful. Okay. Who would like to roll the danger dice for the rats to see if the rats that you just recruited get killed? Debussy and the others. Who wants to be responsible for this? 3.
Why do you vote me?
I also vote Derek.
3 d6s. All right, Tchaikovsky, 3 d6s. Please don't roll any 6s. I think it's 6s.
Oh, thank God.
Let me double.
job.
I mean,
Let me double
cumulatively.
You got one.
Right.
Technically, it should be ones, but
That's what
you
I'm-
did say
that's-
sixes.
I'm
So.
I did say 6s, but I am gonna. So we'll count it for that one. That's fine. So they fail, but they don't die. But let me double check to make sure that is correct. Because I cannot remember.
I'm
all
like
right.
90% sure it's not correct, but
I think you're right. It sounded wrong the minute it came out of my mouth. I was like, I don't think that's right. Here we go. Game mechanics. And we're doing danger die.
Danger.
Okay, so yeah, it'll be a 1 from now on. I did say it before I rolled, so I'm gonna hold that, but it'll be 1s from here on out. Okay. So,
Oh, don't pick me again.
We're done. We're done. We did our thing.
I also
What's the mod on the rat?
Okay,
mission?
so the rat mission to recruit, base chance is 6, but then the insurgency rating of the rat cell gave you a -1 mod, and then the Watcher recon mission gave a -2 mod to the success chance. So you went from 6 dice for recruitment down to 3. The danger dice starts off at 1 for this particular mission, but because there's a Watcher recon, so Watcher recon mission that decreases chance of success by 2, it increases danger by +2 in whatever habitat it's at. So you went from 6 success down to 3 success, and 1 danger up to 3 danger.
Does recruiting in the same tribe increase the mod?
Let me double check on that. No, it's a plus. That's a ±0. Cell's own is ±0. A neighboring cell is +1, and a not neighboring cell is +2. So there's no benefit, but there's also no penalty to recruiting in your own.
Oh, okay.
All right. So next up is the cats. So you just recruited some Magnums, and you sent them on a dangerous mission into the ape habitat to try to purge, which was a failure with the rabbits that you sent in there at the previous time. So they have a success chance of 8, but the insurgency rating brought it down to 7. So there's going to be 7 die to roll. The ape habitat I had some roadblocks up, but it doesn't affect chance of anything. All it does is affect insurgency ratings. So it's not actually going to affect the success chance or the danger. However, because it's so distant, the cats are going to have 3 danger dice to roll. So who wants to roll the 7 dice to see if they are successful? I think it should be Helena because she's a cat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Helena.
Yeah.
So I got 5.
76. You're already
Yay.
good. So the cats were successful. Okay, so
Yeah.
cats are successful at purging. And then go ahead and now
Does that
roll.
mean Gigantopithecus is dead?
I think that makes sense. You guys targeted old orangutan. What was his name? Boars. We'll say that's probably
He's an
who
asshole.
got purged, and maybe a few others as well. Go ahead and roll the 3d6, and we're looking for 1s. 1s are bad.
We're not.
No, we're
We're not looking for
I am
ones.
looking for ones.
Fuck, Jeff.
Oh,
And the Magnums that you just recruited are dead. Poor Crowder.
Can Crowder live?
He might.
Everyone else.
The
is
cell's
dead?
gone. Fuck the rest of them. Yeah, I killed him. I just shot him.
Cats were successful but died.
Oh,
Putting that in my
no.
notes. Okay. Then let's go over to the Badger cell. So the Badger cell, you sent them to the Reptile tribe. Really interesting decision thematically because the two of them actually have a long hatred of one another. But you sent the Badger cell to demonstrate in the Reptile habitat. They have a success chance of 8, but they get a -1 penalty from the insurgency rating. So 7 dice again. And there's going to be 4 danger dice because of the distance the Badgers had to go for the Reptile. So
you got it, Logan.
that's got to be All right. So Logan, roll 7d6.
That was not right.
You rolled once.
Well,
So
that's
roll
one of
6
your
more.
7.
Roll 6 more. We're looking for 6s. All right, got one. So
Hey,
all right, and so then why don't we have Derek roll the 4d6s because it's in the reptile tribe.
I don't want a 1.
You rolled 2 1s last time. What are the
You got-
chances if you roll in more 1s? What are the chances?
God damn it! I hate this stupid. Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I just killed the cat thing that we recruited. Okay.
It's so good. Okay, we got the rabbit cell who is trying to recruit in the rabbit habitat. That has a base success chance of 6, but a +1 bonus because of their insurgency rating. So they're at 7 and a danger of only 1. Longlee, why don't you roll 7d6s for the rabbit cell? Okay, rabbits are
Yay.
success. And now roll 1d6 for that danger die. What are the chances of this is being a 1? What are the chances?
I don't think
You need
we
to
can even
stop
measure it.
tempting fate like that.
Come on.
Oh gosh.
That's why he's doing it, because he knows.
Okay. So the NPC missions to sum up. The rats failed but lived. The cat succeeded but died. The badger succeeded but died. The rabbits succeeded and lived. And then you have your cell. And as you talk it out with Truffaut, you bring him, because you already mentioned to him your suspicions about Chelios and what was going on in the Badger tribe, and he seems to confirm that that is definitely something to look into. And you all decide that in a couple weeks after you've had a chance to lay low, once again, that you'll join back up in the Badger habitat and do some recon and actually do some tangible investigation into whether or not the suspicions that you that both Cujo and Hamill have are founded in any kind of fact. So you split off in a variety of different in your different directions. McCloud Ringo is going to come along with you. He's like,
I have many trades things to do in the dog tribe. It's how are you doing? You doing good? You eating well? You getting enough fiber in your diet?
Yeah, I think we're doing great. How about you?
I hear that that those cats that you recruited, those big badass cats, got killed like right away.
Oh,
It's just
God, already?
I don't know. It's crazy. But the two of you make it back to your tribe, to the dog tribe, and you're let in. Neither of you have any real trouble getting let in. Him being a scavenger, well-known trade, all that kind of stuff. You being a member. Some of the wolf guards give you a sidelong glance, but a couple of the people who know you are at the gate, kind of let you back in. Just ask you questions like, "Where have you been? Really? Where have you been? Where have you been, young man?" And eventually, you're let in. Over the course of the next couple of days, as you're getting settled, you see Ringo making all sorts of trades, switching out this and that here and there. You get a kind of an urgent knock on your den door. Where's your den again? Can you describe it for us really quick?
Yeah,
Do you
so
remember?
it's just it's just a small shipment container, just emptied out. Share it with a bunch of other foxes.
Melissa and I don't like to talk about shipping containers right now. One of
we
our
don't. No, we
trees, one of our trees fell on our neighbor's shipping container. It was,
Aye.
it's all taken care of, but like,
Yeah, I think a tree fell on this one too. So there's a little.
is it? Oh, it's probably the one that we just shipped away. Look at that. Oh, small world. Okay, so you get a knock on the door or whatever barricade that you use to make it look like a door, and it's like it's a panic knock over and over and over again, getting louder and louder. It starts really small.
Yeah, I heard you and answer it.
And you see a young fox that you know is named Farah. And by young, she's like a few years younger than you. Definitely like an impressionable teen type of age. You can see that she's got wounds all over her body, scrapes, bruises. A lot of the fur is matted from blood. And she's got a faraway look in her eyes. Her eyes are kind of twitching. She might have a concussion or something like that. But she says to you, she says, "Slippy, they got Slippy. And she's just breathing really heavy and collapses into your arms.
What do you mean? What happened to you?
Slippy wanted to take your message beyond the gates of the lodge and go somewhere else since the wolves and the dogs were being so repugnant. So we thought, let's go far away. Let's go to the bears.
And so she describes how like Slippy and a few others were they decided they were just going to go kind of on a mission of peace and spreading the gospel of McCloud. And they were heading to the bridge where people know that a lot of the bears hang out and fish. The bears don't have a centralized government of any kind, but they do periodically congregate around that bridge. They don't like it when people show up. And she describes how at some point before they even got to the bridge, they thought they were being followed. And while they were camping that night, Slippy woke her up and told her to run. And so she did. And she describes being afraid. There was something in the darkness that was attacking them. She kept hearing growls and sounds of like metal grinding. She just kept running because Slippy said, just run, don't look back, run, don't look back. And that was probably a day ago at this point. And she had to stop. At some point she says she collapsed and she woke up. So it could have been longer. But yeah, she's really worried about Slippy.
Well, first let's get you patched up, and then we'll find out on Slippy's situation.
Okay. So you go ahead and you take her over to a clinic, one of the healers that you know in the lodge. You start getting her patched up. And we'll come back around. Helena, you return to the to your old stomping grounds, the cat village. Fortunately, the roadblocks seem to have been moved. You don't got to worry about them, so it's a lot easier time going up the hill. You pass by the ski lifts and a couple of the big burly cat-like warriors. Kind of do some cat calls. That's a good one. It's good. And see if you want to take a ride up the ski lift. Do you want to take a ride up the ski lift with them? It's dangerous. Only the really tough warriors do it.
How dangerous?
I mean, we roll some dice. We see what happens.
Yeah, sure.
You all right? Oh yeah. Okay. So you start heading up, and they're kind of surprised you're willing to do it. And so you and two other cats, these big burly muscular dopes, frat boys probably, and they're and they start going. A couple more stay below to activate, and they punch some buttons, and all of a sudden you see the ski lift in operation. As you're looking down, you can see that there is the remains of several other of these carriages that have fallen at various times in the past, and just horrible wreckage anywhere from like 15 to 50 feet below. You can see all sorts of little animals scurrying around, little herds of various grazers and stuff like that. Go ahead and why don't you go ahead and roll an endure test, and you just go ahead and you can roll it without any modification.
I rolled it and
Okay.
I did it with the new button.
So I guess the new buttons aren't helping out as much. Should we just drop the fancy looking? I like the
it
fancy
was
looking
faster
thing.
at least.
I still think it's a little bit faster.
I think it's a little bit faster. I think what Logan said a couple weeks back is right. Is that when there's a lot of rolls going in at the same time, I think that might be what's slowing it down.
Yeah.
At a certain point when you're coming up, the thing starts to shake and stop, and everyone starts grabbing and hanging on in different directions, and you almost feel like you're sliding back a little bit, which doesn't really kind of make sense, and you're kind of hanging. One of the other cats starts freaking out, but you seem to just be a little bit measured. Like you've seen some shit at this point. This ain't nothing. Like you killed someone with your bare hands. Like this is nothing.
I've killed a couple people.
And so it's about like a half an hour before they finally get this thing going again. And one of the other cats was just saying all sorts of different apologies, making all sorts of deals. Like, if I can just get off this ski lift, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to do so many better things. I'm going to live a better life. Things are going to be great after this. Just want to get off this ski lift. Yeah. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to treat people nice. I'm going to care. Oh, we're moving. Well, fuck all that. And so then you go up the ski lift and you eventually get let out and you're brought back to town. You see your sister. She seems a little ragged. There's a lot of stuff going on with the Elder Council, that she is sort of like the Senate, she's like the Senate president, sort of, she runs it. That's how a lot of these, tribes are. There's like elder councils, and then there's usually one figure that runs them. And she's kind of that figure. She seems a little haggard. And you pass by her when she is being like harassed and surrounded by several people. She exchanges a look with you, like a serious, scared, nervous look, but she doesn't seem to be in a position where you can talk about it. Later that night, you get a knock on your door.
Okay.
And when you open it up, it's old Secundus 9. He says, I don't remember Secundus's voice, so let's see. I'm on like a southern thing today. Everybody's just doing southern voices, so I'm Secundus 9. No, he just says, excuse me, Miss Helena, I so wonderful timing that you've returned to the village. I have some interesting news that I thought you might want to hear.
Oh, certainly.
If you recall, in our previous conversation, I was explaining my concern for our missing friend Cicero, and you claim to have been in a romantic relationship with him. Well,
sexual.
That's interesting. Did you know that he had a long-term partner, and her name was Kania 30?
Yes.
She had no knowledge of this illicit relationship and says that it wouldn't even make sense that she and Cicero were around each other most of the time every day, and it would be a bit odd. When would they find the time to do the things that they would need to do if, as you say, it's sexual?
Well, an affair is generally an affair. It wouldn't make sense if she knew when we were doing it.
He pulls out like a steno pad, and it's got all sorts of scribbles on it. Probably not his own. And he pulls out a pen. And he starts writing. Oh, so you're going to stay by your statement that you were having a sexual relationship with Cicero?
Yes. Do I feel bad about knowing that he was in an actual relationship? Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
But
continues her previous story. I also find it interesting. You told us on the night of whatever night it was that you killed him, that you said that he did leave at some point. Do you remember? Was that during the night, during the morning, afternoon?
It would have been dark out.
Oh,
I can't tell you.
So nighttime. How interesting. Flips a page, just like some random doodle, definitely going through. I spoke with the Sky Scout, who was on duty that evening. Sky Scout, so in the middle of the cabin village, there's like a really tall pole with a basket in the top. And so someone's always on duty up there, and it's just basically scouting, like, and can see everything around. I spoke with the Sky Scout, who was on duty that evening, and said that they never saw Cicero leave your home. They did, in fact, see Cicero go inside, but never came out. So are you sure it was nighttime?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Flips a page. And would it surprise you to learn that the Sky Scout who took over in the morning from the nighttime Sky Scout said that they did, in fact, see some interesting things happening now that I mentioned it. And that, well, we didn't see Cicero leave. They did see Helena and Octavia leave, and they were carrying something wrapped up in some kind of tarp or rug or something of the sort. They didn't think anything of it until I mentioned that Cicero had gone, and it never came out. Could you explain what it was that you and your sister were doing?
So are you telling me that you led that poor person on into believing that I did something terrible?
Oh, I'm just collecting the facts, ma'am. Just the facts.
Well, To me, it sounds like you primed him to think something if he didn't see anything before.
I just asked basic questions. I said, on the night of, did you happen to see anyone coming or going from Helena and Octavia's home? And he
And so
said,
are you
now that you
telling-
mention it, I did.
And Helena will just kind of shrug and be like, well, that's what I went through.
Interesting. I've gone ahead and hired a hunter. Perhaps you've heard of her, Visenia 42. She's quite good. One of the best hunters. She's currently out and about outside of the village, seeing if she can find wherever it was that you discarded a rug or a carpet. It seems very strange that someone would just throw something like that away. We often send people out to scavenge for those things and bring them back to the village. That just randomly throw something out. It's very peculiar. We're also looking into why none of the guards were actually respondent to us. It's very strange indeed. Are you sure that there's nothing else that you think maybe you can add to your story to help make this make more sense?
Not really. I had a rug to trade, and I couldn't carry it by myself. And that's really it. I didn't realize I was supposed to get clearance to trade my own personal products.
Let's cut this shit, shall we, Helena? Was it you, or was it your sister that killed my friend?
If you think I'm going to sell out my sister or myself...
So you're saying it was your sister who killed her? Or him, sorry.
And at this point, Helena will just kind of look at him. I'm not saying anything, darling. And then she'll be like, have a wonderful evening. Would you like to come in?
Oh, I most certainly would not. Because from what I know, when people go in your home, they often come out rolled up in a rug and thrown out to die in the middle of nowhere. I'm going to go and speak to some of the council elders and see if they're going to be at all interested in this wonderful story. Have a good, lovely night, dear. And starts tromping, going away. Okay. Let's switch over to Tchaikovsky.
One of these times we're going to go looking for her and we're not going to find her.
Tchaikovsky. So Tchaikovsky, you make it back. And there's kind of a strange ruckus going on in between the terrariums, the domes, when you get back. And you can see there's a group of badgers that are just making all sorts of, like, they're just there making up a stink. And there's several lizards and toads and frogs and turtles and such that are kind of staring at them in great anger and like this old ancient hatred for these badgers and wolverines that had long perpetrated horrible acts of violence against your people are in here, but they don't seem to be demonstrating against you. They're just talking all sorts of rhetoric about the Watchers themselves, and this is particularly curious considering that just a few weeks back there was a sentinel raid that rumor has it possibly absconded with some members of the reptile tribe that could have been members of the resistance. You probably would know that they are, but do you do anything? And you can see that your friend Serge is there kind of off to the side watching. You can see Luke Bryan is commiserating with a bunch of other not very interesting looking folk. They just look big and stupid, their eyes going in different directions, and they seem to be huddling and up to no good.
So Chai will just kind of wander up to Serge and ask what's going on and kind of listen in on the discussion between the badgers and the reptiles.
The badgers are so brazen to come here and just speak so openly about the terrible activities of the Watchers in other tribes. They have been telling us about a horrible situation that happened in the Wild Dance just a few months back, where they interrupted one of our most sacred nights to abscond with one very poor and weak Weasel. If only that Weasel had the strength of family and community that we share, perhaps they would not have been taken. I must say, I am very torn. Part of me would like to just rip them apart piece by piece right now, but kind of looks around, makes sure no one's listening. But as you'll know, I bear no love for the Watchers.
And so Chai will say to Serge,
On what basis would you have to rip them apart? Is it just old blood and old feud?
Well, my mother was killed by a Wolverine. I know I don't talk about it very often. It's very painful, right in front of my very eyes. I was a young boy. I don't remember the full details, but it was quite brutal. It was over some food, I believe. My father tried to explain it to me years later, but then he disappeared as well, taken, I presume, into the labyrinths below the valley. So, I know very little of my mother. She used to hum to me when I went to sleep. So, to think that they did such awful things to such a lovely woman makes me very sad. But again, I must measure my hatred of them for what they did to my mother against the hatred I face towards the Watchers for what they did to my father. I am very torn.
So Chai will just place a hand on Serge's shoulder, not soldier, and just say,
If the Watchers weren't in control of everything, and if there wasn't shortages of food, yeah, I don't think that your mother would have had to suffer because of this. And he won't really make it completely obvious that he's anti. Well, I mean, everyone's anti-Watcher. He's not trying to sound like a resistance member by any means, but he's just kind of being empathetic and kind of understanding, but also saying.
Would you keep that as a secret from Serge that he doesn't know that you're a member of the resistance?
So because I feel a need to protect Serge, I don't want to put him in any position where he could be used, the Watchers could use him to get information on me. So yeah, I was kind of play that kind of close to the chest, but enough of a hint that he might raise an eyebrow, but not inquire further.
He just kind of nods and appreciates the hand that you place on his shoulder, and he kind of takes a deep breath.
I suppose the bigger evil is the one that we all face, and not the one that we on our own face. Besides, the Badgers and the Wolverines are on the other side of the valley. The Watchers are everywhere.
And so as if he's just sort of coming to some sort of resolution in his own mind. And then he quickly changed his subject.
I should warn you, by the way, Luke was sniffing around your den while you've been gone. I don't ask you what you do. You collect what you collect and you go where you go. It is your business. You are a grown man, obviously. But he has been talking about some new place, some new vision he has of an emporium, he said, of artifacts. And he's been catching the eye of very many a reptile. Very interesting. So be careful of that one. He is not a good man.
Did he describe this emporium, of what it looks like, if there's some kind of symbol that signifies it?
He did, yes. He drew lines and things. It looked like something a child would draw.
What color were the lines?
Oh, he drew them in the sand, so they were all just dirt.
Okay.
He'll start to draw it for you, and it looks like the Dollar Tree symbol that Faraday showed you.
Okay, so yeah, I'll Chai will kind of kick his wagon, and then realizing that he was acting in anger, kind of rub the wagon, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Serge will look at you
What?
Okay, you have been out in the wild too long, my friend.
But eventually the demonstration dies down. It gets a little violent at times where people are pushing and shoving, but nothing ever comes to full out fighting. And the Badgers and the Wolverines are kind of thrown out. But you do notice that a group of reptiles seem to be following them out of the encampment.
I'll leave the wagon with Serge and just say,
keep an eye on this for me.
And then I guess I'll try and linger back and follow the people following the Wolverines and Badgers.
Roll a scout check.
Wolverines.
Have you all seen that? I know it's an older movie, but have you all seen
Red Dawn?
Yeah, Red Dawn, the OG one with the
I've seen them
sways?
both.
Good.
It's been a very long time. I barely remember it.
You are able to follow them. It's a group of about 5 reptiles. You see that there's 2 lizards, 2 toads, and a turtle. And they're following these 4 badgers and wolverines and such deep into like the swampy area northwest of the actual terrarium area, away from the domes, away from vision. And you notice from a distance as the reptiles begin to surround the badgers and the wolverines. And they have weapons brandished. And they just begin attacking.
Shit. Okay. I was going to try and warn the wolverines that they were being followed, but God.
What are you going to do, Chai? Let us all die.
So how many reptiles are there, and how many?
They're
like,
outnumbered.
They?
They're definitely, the reptiles outnumber probably about 6 to 4 or so, I would say.
Okay. There's no way I can take on a bunch of reptiles, so
Just
I guess
stop them.
Yeah, I guess I would, like, as they're like sneak attacking or whatever, I would run out and scream. Like Chai would just run out as close as he can and just say, "What are you doing?"
Okay. And they turn around and they look at you and they're like,
we're cleaning the terrarium of this scum that just came in here. You're gonna join us, brother.
And so Chai is just gonna like pull something out of one of his many trench coat pockets and say, "I'm out here scavenging, and I see a bunch of my people backstabbing others that are minding their own business. What kind? That's not our way. That's not what we do."
It might not be your way, but it's our way, brother. And if you don't want to be part of it, then I'll suggest you scavenge somewhere else.
And Chai is going to look at the badgers and
pull
then
out your
look back.
grenade.
It's in
only
the couch.
he had it with him.
They wouldn't even know what it is anyway. I'd have to pull the pin and throw it for
And
you.
it would just blow them all up. You just kill all of them.
Damn. I need to take the thing out of the couch. But Chai is going to go look to, I guess, whichever one looks like the leader of the reptile group,
The one
and
that was
say,
talking, this big old lizard iguana.
and just say, like, mindless bloodshed like this doesn't bring food to our tables. It doesn't bring knowledge to our minds, and it doesn't bring safety from the watchers. You're wasting their time and your own.
Okay. They're going to turn to you, this iguana, and they're going to ease up for a second. All the badgers and wolverines are on the ground in the mud and the filth, kind of like pain and all sorts of different like figures, like pain on their faces. They're holding their arms. They look terrible and broken. And the iguana will turn to you.
All right, boys. Looks like we got a tattletale among us.
And they turn to you, and they're going to get fairly big. And they're going to be like,
well, what a curious situation we've got here. We've got this little tattletale who wants to run back and tell everybody what we've done. I suppose there's just one solution, right, mates? I suppose we just make sure he don't have no tongue no more, do we?
And they start to slowly surround you. And he'll say,
last chance, mate.
And he holds out a knife to you.
You join or you die.
Okay. There's no like bluff or
There's dominate. Dominate is like a catch-all for that kind of social skill.
Yeah, I have a 0 in dominate. Can I hold out the moonshine? No, actually, yeah. I'll pull out the 2 jugs of moonshine that I have and say, let the badgers, let them go back to their home, and I'll give you these trinkets here. It's moonshine from the rat tribe, from a very famous still, and all of us go our separate ways, and we don't have to talk nothing to no one.
I will have you roll a dominate check, except this is not going to be well. You're outnumbered. You're asking them to do something that they don't want to do, but you are giving them something. So
And I was going to also use my tail animal power, which gives me a +1 to dominate checks. So
okay,
that'll be
I
something.
would say once all is said and done, this is probably, we'll say this is going to be like a -2 mod.
Before you
Okay.
finish that, though, it's a +1 for every single.
Yeah, I was going to say I have 4 feral points, so I'll spend all 4.
Okay, and you're gonna have to roll that, but we'll
Roll.
You
Gotta roll
could
the
go.
4d6
You could go
first.
feral and run away, and it would actually work out just fine.
I mean, would it?
We'll see.
All right. So, what would you like me to roll first?
I think it's when you spend the feral points, but we'll resolve the FP, and then so we'll do the dominate check because you're resolving that, and then since you're spending it, we'll roll the FP.
So it'll be a +2 because I spent 4 feral points, but minus the 2 for the number of them that outnumbered me.
Yeah, because you're using the moon. I'm giving you credit for the moonshine stuff like that, but then you have a big penalty because they outnumber you.
Okay.
So
2d6.
Yep.
Please. Oh, God. You know, I don't think I've seen anything. Look at all of my rolls been 2, 3, 2.
You don't have how many points do you have in instinct?
Not much.
2.
Oh, that's true. Instinct. I also have another 2. So should I roll?
Yeah, go ahead and
should
roll 2 more
another 2.
d6s.
Oh my! Why do the dice fucking hate me?
Wow.
It's so frustrating.
Sorry, friend. So they've got 1, and they're gonna go 3.
Now they're gonna kill Chai, bury his body in the woods.
Okay. So
Well, at least they didn't get anything.
they're gonna snatch the moonshine from you, and they're gonna
Moonshine.
Yeah, and they're gonna take that from you, and they're gonna say,
Run along, sweetheart, before we think twice about this. Last chance.
and they have begun to surround you at this point. And I would say, quite certain, Derek, that if you push this further, you're probably going to get buried with these bodies.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I'm just gonna get fucked, I'm gonna get fucked. So I'll
Try
and
do
run
the
away.
right
Okay.
do the right thing.
So you turn
Defend the
around,
Badgers.
you turn around.
You want that on your hands?
You turn around and you run away, and you hear
Howard.
horrible sounds of shrieking and beating as the badgers behind you have died. Just so you know,
I hope you can live with.
yeah, you make it.
I mean, if these dice would stop being dickhead, I
That's
could
fair.
actually do something. But you
That's
know,
fair.
RNG just hates me.
They do.
Even if you would have succeeded, they would have just turned it on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it was already going to happen. Did you roll your FP?
No, that was what I was
roll
gonna do next.
roll your
It's
4d6s.
Yeah.
Logan
Yeah, one
knows
for each of the
rules for
FP you
this.
spent.
There it is.
Whoops.
Rolling.
So we got okay. So then roll another d6. Roll one
Yep.
d6.
Oh, he's feral.
Oh no!
Now roll another d6.
I
to see
literally
for how
am going
long.
to quit this campaign because I hate dice. Like, I'm not joking. Fuck these dice. They
It's
only
okay.
fuck me
The
over.
first
I'm going to go
D6.
back and literally make a montage of every session of
You should
all the
clip
time I
it.
get fucked by these goddamn dice.
We should clip all of Eric. Okay, so
It's
roll.
so
Derek.
frustrating.
Derek, you got to
Technically,
roll a
the
d6.
first D6 that you rolled after the 4 was
Roll
a
one
3.
more d6. What's that, Melissa?
Well, because there's 46.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I accidentally
Ed had
rolled
a
that
6.
twice.
Then the first one after that is a 3.
Is it?
Oh, so I
Because you
accidentally
see the-
rolled 4 twice. So the
Right.
first one would have been
The first
I mean, they
one
both had a
had-
6 and a 1.
All right. I don't want you to quit the campaign. So, all right. What's
No, it's fine. I'm just aggravated with this RNG. So it would have been the first set of 4 and then the 1 and then the 3, right?
I'm just saying it took like 9 sessions for you to go feral twice, and I hit both of them in like the first 3 sessions. So
Point. But you're not an elder. You're a young buck.
Don't forget, going feral is how you get new powers. So it's
Yeah,
not
man.
actually a terrible thing. And this is happening not during a mission. So I actually think this is a pretty reasonable time for you to go feral. So
I mean, animal powers are nice and all, but they don't help me. I just used 4 of them and I got nada.
you weren't really in a situation where that was going to go well for you.
Yeah. That's what I get for caring.
the sound
I should have said fuck 'em.
badgers
I can't argue
Okay.
with that.
getting
Actually.
murdered.
A couple days later, however long it was while you were feral, you finally make it back to your den covered in mud. And memories of everything that went down running through your head, you go inside and you notice that your den has been rummaged through by somebody. And you start peeking and you notice that your grenade is no longer there. your little scrap of paper or whatever.
How would he know to look in the fucking cushioning of the couch?
I don't know. Everything's turned over. The cushions have been ripped up. It's like a whole
It's
raid.
not like we were using it in the couch anyway.
I was saving it for like a big boss, but I guess not.
Yeah. So you so it looks as though someone's been here. And so while Derek stews,
I's just gonna light fire to his tent and just walk away from
Do you
it.
want
I'm
to?
not even joking. Yeah,
You
I'm
want
burning
to?
it down. He's so pissed off right now.
do you is he pissed off or are you pissed off?
Both.
Okay.
We're RPing.
Okay. So do you care if anyone sees you?
No,
Okay.
it's my house.
No, you're gonna burn his house down, I thought.
No, my house, because
You're gonna burn
it's been
your house
ransacked.
down? Okay.
Yeah. Chai has come back from
So you set
a
your
day in the wilderness.
You set your den on fire, and some people freak out a bit. They try to rush over and throw some water on it. You wave them off. Surge comes over, consoles you, and says, "Don't worry, we'll build you a new one or something. By the way, you've got some shit on your face." You might,
I'll just slap his hand away and just act like the grumpy old
You
man.
might want a good news at least. Luke and his cronies are gone, so you don't have to deal with them for a little while. They were very giddy for some reason.
and then we'll go ahead and we'll cut because a couple days, weeks pass. Eventually, you all are returned. We're gonna Logan and Melissa, we'll do yours like as part of the mission since we actually are going to Badger Tribe. All of you eventually make it back. McCloud, Farah, she's inconsolable. Do you do anything for the Bear Tribe before you head back on mission, or do anything for Slippy? Excuse me.
Yeah, I want to see if I can gather some like scout foxes and
Okay.
see if we can take them out to where we last saw Slippy.
Okay.
Some clues.
Look at all that salt. So go ahead. If you're looking to do that, you can roll a dominate check. And what you're doing is a fairly noble deed. You got Pharaoh with you. I'll give you like a +2 on this as you tried to talk to some of these different scouts, and you go to the ones that aren't dicks, so you stay away from the wolf guards, the lodge guards that are directly connected to O'Donnell. And you find some others that might help you, foxes mainly. Okay. And it's a little rough, but not everyone agrees. Some of them kind of kick you away and they see your stupid little hat and stuff, but you do manage to get a group of 3 scouts together to kind of go looking. And in the time in which you've been gone, you head over before you head back to Truffaut's, you and the scouts and Farah. You start looking around. I'll let you roll a scout test, and I'll give you +4 mod since you've got 4 other people with you. As you start getting back to where Farah thinks was her campsite. You want to push?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Wowzers.
And sadly, there's just no sign. It's been stormy lately, a lot of overcast skies. The rain has fallen, and there are no tracks. There's no signs of Slippy. And the scouts, after they come back, and they were earnest in trying to help you, one of them finds in a bush somewhere this underwear hat that has little popsicle sticks tied together like a propeller. And they say they found it in some bush, but they didn't find any other tracks. That everything went cold. There's no sign of them.
I'll take this underwear hat.
Okay.
Keep it for him when he comes back.
Okay. So then you head back. Farah's weeping the whole way, and eventually you do have to leave. You and Ringo, because Ringo has come and gone a couple times in the interim, and the two of you head back to the helicopter. You get your orders. You meet up with Tchaikovsky, who seems to be super pissed. Helena, how's Helena feeling when she shows up?
Well, Helena's pretty furious
Okay.
because I feel like she's one, mad at herself
Sure.
for even doing it, but 2, I feel like at this point she's probably also a little mad at her sister for making her feel like she had to be put in that situation.
Yeah,
And then
fair enough.
she really kind of wants to kill Secundus, but that'll just cause more questions, so she knows she shouldn't.
It's what happens when you start killing. You just gotta keep killing to cover the kills.
Story we learned from Breaking Bad.
I feel, yeah. I don't like how much is like, well, you learn your lesson. When you kill once, you just got to keep killing. Everything will be fine if you just keep killing.
Just
Totally
don't
fine.
stop. That's what I do.
I
every
agree.
day. And Jeffrey doesn't ask me any questions.
There are so many. We have 2 sheds in the back. I never go inside. I don't want to go inside. So the 3 of you head over to the Badger tribe to meet up with Hamill and Cujo. You are surrounded as you approach by a variety of badgers and weasels and such with spears who demand, "Who are you? And what are you doing
Who are
here?
you?
Who are you?" And one of you will have to succeed on the dominate check to get inside of the burrows.
You don't have to tell me twice.
If you drop the names of Cujo and Hamill, I'll give you a +1 mod. So who wants to roll the dominate check to get inside?
Yeah, we're here to meet some friends.
What's your dominate point?
Who are the names? What's the names? What are the names? Names. Give us names.
We got Cujo and Hamill, of course. A warrior and a hunter of yours.
Hamill. Sounds familiar. Little runt. Little one always talking about her brother. Cry, cry. Like she's the only one who's lost someone. Whatever. Yeah. Terrible hunter. Not as good as Chelios. Chelios is far better. Anyway, what was the other one? Cujo? Oh, big angry looking Wolverine. Yeah, hangs out with that weakling elder. Good thing they kicked him out of the council.
So anyway, roll your dominate check.
What mod did you say?
I'll give you a +1 because you dropped their names. You want to push that?
It hasn't come out yet, has it?
I see it.
No, it hasn't come in.
Oh, that's Scout. Sorry.
Push it long.
Oh my God. There goes. All right. So there's yours.
There
You
it
got
is.
1 success. I got a success as well. Do you want to push?
Oh, yeah. Let's
Yeah.
do it.
Go ahead and push. Take a point of instinct demurge. Okay. So there's a great bit of fuss. It takes they won't let you in, but one of them says that they'll go and chase down Cujo or Hamill, and they do. And you're just basically caught on the border of the burrows for a good 3 hours before finally Cujo and Hamill come trotting up to speak on your behalf and let you inside. But you do finally get inside. So
Hamill's just gonna run around in circles like, good to see you, good to see you, welcome back, good to see you.
Yeah, I see you haven't told us your tribe about us to let us in so easily.
Didn't know you were coming. Totally would have if you knew you were coming. We will for next time. Don't worry. Next time it'll be so much easier.
Okay. So when you look around for those who this is your first time here, most of you, this is kind of out of the way. This is way out in the southwest. No one really comes out this way. It's actually relatively close to that to the chopper, but it is a bit out of the way compared to some of your other tribes' habitats. There's the 2 kind of low concrete buildings to the west and behind it you can see the outer fence rising. Even though some of the Martins hang out in there, a lot of the tribe takes their residences in a variety of trenches and burrows that are dug into the ground to the east of those buildings. And the 2 of you maybe show them around a bit. There's like little towns, little avenues and streets down some of these trenches. People start trading and stuff with you, etc. Your job is to do some recon, to investigate as to Watcher sensibilities, or I should say Watcher activity here, informants. Specifically, you had talked, Cujo and Hamill, with Truffaut about your suspicions about Chelios. So you 2 go ahead and take the lead. What do you want to do?
I basically just kind of want to inform the whole group of my suspicions, let them know that Chelios seems to be seeking power, and my close friend Gretzky, who's been kind of forced out, has been giving me some tips that he believes that a lot of the Watchers may be having influence on him, and that the Badger tribe may be compromised very soon.
And in the past couple of weeks, since you last saw your cell, Gretzky has been removed. He's been a little sick lately. Things haven't been going well for his shop. And Chelios has been a rapid star rising, getting all sorts of choice cuts of the hunt, when roadblocks and other patrols over the past few months has really stemmed the tide and made hunters' lives a little bit harder, including yours, Hamill, try to hunt down anything. But he still managed to come back with huge kills, and that has seen his rapid ascendancy, and he has taken over that elder seat on the council. Iserman, who is the full leader of the council, like he's the head honcho of the whole tribe, he was the one who informed Gretzky of his removal.
Stevie Y.
Yeah. Iserman 33.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of meet with Gretzky and kind of bring the whole tribe with me, since we kind of share a den with his old shop that hasn't been seeing much traffic lately. Basically just gonna say, Gretzky, I fear Chelios is too dangerous to be kept alive. I need your blessing to take him out. He poses way too much of a threat to the Badger's life, and if he's left to influence us for much longer, then I fear that the Badgers will be no more.
So he thinks about that for a minute, and he says, I know that we have our suspicions of him, and I do find it very suspicious that he's been able to do this. This wouldn't be the first time in our history that a Badger or even a Wolverine has gone to the dark side. But if we're going to sanction murder, if we're going to avoid the ire of the Elder Council and of Iserman, we can't kill and murder on suspicion alone. We need hard evidence that he has turned on his people before we can make any such action legitimate. Otherwise, you and your friend Hamill here you'll either be killed yourselves for inter-tribe violence, or at best excommunicated, and we'll never see you again. We need hard evidence.
Hamill's just going to kind of run around within the group like, we'll get it. We'll talk to people. There's got to be something.
Please calm down. You're making an old man's heart flutter a bit too fast.
So stop.
What do we need for proof?
Find some evidence that he is communicating with them. You say that, and I've seen it too, that he returns from his hunts with far more of a kill than anyone could have hoped to come back with the constant surveillance and roadblocks. We've had drones flying overhead almost non-stop since the Wild Dance. We've had sentinels on our roads and in our trails since then as well, and yet somehow he has made it out into fine pastures and returned. If he is finding some way to get past them, it's either he is wonderfully intelligent or he is getting help, and I think both of us do not credit him with much intelligence.
So we need someone who's small to maybe do some spying. And then I'm going to turn towards Hamill.
Hamill's just like paw in the air. Like,
yes, crazy little weasel woman.
I know someone. Wiley 92. He's the really little one. And Chelios.
He looks you up and down because you're small. And he's like, relative to you or to the normal size individuals in the room?
To me.
Okay.
And
That's really small.
yeah, I saw him last time we were here, and Chelios has taken him under his wing, and maybe I haven't spent a lot of time with him, but maybe we could like bribe him with something or talk to him.
Bribe
and see if-
Chelios.
No. Wiley.
Oh.
He's little. He may say something and not even realize he's saying something. So we may just, try to, pull him aside and have a chat. And I don't know, Chai, maybe you'll have something that he would think is fun. Maybe a little trinket in your card or something. And if we just chat with him about like how good of a hunter he's learning to be, he may slip and say something and he may not even know it. And maybe that would help, right? That would help.
Okay, can you just calm down a bit? I have a very agitated ticker. He's an old man, sickly. That's how I'm playing him. Okay, so is that your plan?
Can we get Wiley to meet with us without Chelios finding out?
Maybe. I think maybe if we find him at like in his area, not like when they just came back from a hunt, but I think we could. And my brother used to kind of look out for him a little bit, so
Okay.
he may wonder if like the whole group goes. So I mean, maybe there's some other things we should do too.
Okay. So you're going to go and try to find Wiley. Is that right? And then the rest of you are going to do something else? Okay. So it's not hard to go around your own habitat and start asking questions. And you're right. You haven't seen him in a while.
Try, do you have anything that like a young Weasel might find as fun in your cart?
You want to scavenge for some car keys, some shiny car keys that a Weasel might want to hold on to?
I can.
Do it. Scavenge for
Roll
some
it.
shiny car keys.
All right.
I like it. Go ahead. There you
Okay.
go.
They're
it
the
even has
shiniest of car keys.
They're
It even has more than
super
one use.
chrome. Yeah.
They're to a Volvo.
Yeah. Oh boy. Okay.
It's not just the keys, but it's got the fun little keychain on it too.
The
Okay.
logo, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Okay. So you hand that over to Hamill. You go looking for Wiley, and you take a couple hours asking around, and you can't find him. And you haven't seen him for a few days. You've been back in the habitat for a while. And despite the fact that this is the NPC that you're supposed to protect, you just haven't really protected him. You have heard rumors, like you saw the last time you were in habitat, that he was following Chelios and Chelios's pack around like like a lost puppy, excited and wanting to follow them. What was it? Spike and whatnot? What was it again, Logan? It was Spike and Ike? What was it?
Oh, Spike and Tyke.
Spike and Tyke kind of thing going on. But you've heard that the last anyone saw of him was about 2 days ago. Not quite a full 2 days, but about 2 days ago. And that happens to coincide with the last time that Chelios and his pack were in habitat, and they were heading out on one of their hunts.
Okay, so I would like to use my hunter instincts.
Okay.
So basically, I would need to go somewhere where he would have been in the last several days.
Okay.
To,
Go to his
catch a
den.
scent.
No problem. Go to his den. More than
Okay.
likely been there. Okay.
All right, so I spend 1 FP to pick the prey.
All right. Roll your D6.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah. Speaking of all that, I picked up amphibian as my newest
Okay.
animal power.
Fair enough. Sounds good. Yeah, I do feel like the best time to go feral is during these interludes. If you go feral
Right.
during a mission,
Hold
that's
on.
where it's dangerous.
That's a D8. You can't roll
No.
a 7.
I did it. Sorry. I don't know what just happened.
What's going on?
You got a 6.
It's a 1 though we need, right? I don't remember anymore. Logan's in charge of this. I just let him tell us.
So what are we doing? We're rolling animal
She's
powers?
rolling
Yeah,
for feral.
I spent an FP.
She didn't. Yeah, a 1 is or a 6 is fine. It's a 1 you
Yeah,
don't want.
okay.
if you roll
Alright.
a 1, then
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So you do that. Now what?
Swinehander has me permanently scared of 6s. Like,
Because they explode.
Me too.
Yeah.
So if he's missing, and this isn't because my thought was if I was going to talk to him, I wouldn't want the whole group because he would probably be suspicious of that. But
Fair
if he's
enough.
missing and this is turned into a little bit of a recon, then I'll go back to the group and say,
Okay.
kind of come back like he's missing. They haven't seen him. I can get his scent though, but maybe we should all go looking for him. What do you guys think?
What does he do?
He's a tag along. Like he doesn't do much yet. He's still young, but he's trying to learn how to hunt, and he's been going with Chelios. But nobody's seen him in the last couple of days since the last time they went on a hunt, and that's weird. Someone should have seen him.
Is Chelios' group still hunting? Are they still out there?
They're still out there. And you would know, Hamill being a hunter yourself, that hunting trips generally take a few days. It's not just like you go out in the morning and come back in the afternoon. You go out, you camp, you hunt, you track, and then you bring stuff back, hopefully.
Maybe we could catch them in the act. I can track where he went, and then maybe we could actually catch them doing what they're supposed to do, like while they're doing it.
That's true. Yeah, we can snoop up on them, see what they're doing.
We're going to have to make sure to maintain distance because if they get a whiff of us at all, if Chelios is as good as a tracker as we may assume, then we need to really keep our distance.
Is there
Okay.
any way to snoop at his residence or where he lives here while he's not home?
You would probably know where his den is. It's a fairly prominent burrow him and his pack mates have, in a fairly noteworthy centralized location near some of the other elders. If you try to go snooping around in it, you probably have to roll sneaks to see if you can get inside without notice. It would be peculiar if somebody went in. And likely if he comes home and discovers that you've been snooping around, he'll probably set it on fire because I hear that's
That's what happens. Was there anything suspicious in Wiley's den?
No.
Okay. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know that I want to go into Chelios's den. Cujo, unless you want to go in there in the middle of the day.
No, I'd probably avoid going to someone else's home in broad daylight. But I want to discuss if we're going to be going out and tracking that we need to kind of prepare ourselves for a fight in case things go wrong. So I'm going to give my crossbow to Ashley. It's a 2 damage, 2 bonus ranged weapon with long range, and it's heavy.
There are other traders and scavengers in here, so you have the ability to try to make some trades, barter system, so to speak, if there's something else you're looking for.
How about some healing potions?
That you would need to make. So if you
I want to stock up on those before the next time I fight so I don't get my ass kicked again.
can I do because you know how it took us like 3 hours to get let in even?
Mhm.
Can I kind of retcon and say during that 3 hours I was brewing?
we can say sometime during the last couple of weeks you were brewing. That's fine.
Okay.
Is there some sort of substance that could mask our scent? Maybe somewhere in the markets?
Pause.
Oh, you're thinking of badger piss. we have that in all the dens. If we can blend in with the scent of the packs. I actually think I have some back here, so I'm going to go back into my den and then come back, and then I'm going to let the old moonshine jar that Ashley had given me the night before, and I'm going to set it down on the table, and you can see that it's kind of steamy. It's like, yeah, I've been collecting this for when we need to blend in with the other badger
Try not to mistake this for the moonshine.
Okay. All right. So did you roll your checks for
Helena
your
is
brew?
grossed out.
Did you roll your checks for brew potion?
Oh yeah.
Am I also able to try and barter for a short bow or something?
Yeah, you could.
Short?
What do you have to trade?
I've got that grappling hook that I was able to scavenge when we were climbing the mountain to the lions.
That'll get you about halfway there. You got anything else?
Well, I gave away the quote unquote moonshine, so it would just be the grappling hook and then the sling. Those are the only 2 things that I have.
Those 2 things.
I
you could trade those 2 things for a bow if you wanted.
Okay. Do I need to do a specific roll for that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No reason. I mean, you're just
Ashley,
trading. You're not scavenging. Go ahead, Logan. Sorry.
Did you get my crossbow info, Ashley?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I also have the weapons pulled up.
the difference between a bow and a sling is that a bow can be shot at long range. Sling is only short. The damage is the same. The gear bonus is the same. It's a little heavier though. It's not a light item. So, but you can keep greater distance.
Cool. Sounds good.
Okay.
Do we need
Hamill would
ammo
totally
for
be
those?
like, Chai, did you bring the stuff? Did you bring the stuff that you had like in your couch that you don't have like on you? Did you bring it? That would help us.
So upon mentioning the things that were stolen, Chai is just going to give you like just think of like a disappointed like father who's also got like shell shock going on, just like a far off gaze, but just very grumpy and just wordlessly look at you.
Oh, remember
that's
all
gonna
those
make Hamill very
artifacts that we
sad.
worked so hard gathering? Yeah, I burned them all into the ground.
Hold on. No. I burned the aftermath of my ruined home. I didn't burn the items. Those were
To be
stolen.
fair, they were stolen first.
I heard only the grenade was stolen, but
No, everything was turned over and missing.
I'll say, by the way, that you got four arrows with your trade there, Tchaikovsky.
Okay, I'll mark that.
Okay. All right. So how did the brew potions go, Ashley?
I passed. I got 2 potions.
Okay. Go ahead and mark them. Are you doing anything else before you try to follow the scent that Hamill's been able to pick up?
I shake my old man fist at Cujo for being a smartass to an elder.
Do I need to get bolts or something for the crossbow, right? Or did it have any?
It's just arrows. Yeah, she did have some. Let me look up how much, because it's Mags' crossbow, right?
yeah.
All right. Mags she had 9 arrows on her.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not a separate. It doesn't look like there's anything separate between bolts and arrows. Same thing. Okay. Anything else? You do any scrying or anything, McCloud?
Yeah, let's try.
Okay.
I'm gonna do some hunting too for food.
More likely, that's something you probably will do along the way, I would
Okay.
imagine. Because it means going out and getting stuff.
Yeah, so I'll climb up on some little like tree that's hanging around, and
Like
then
Probably a root or something coming down, sure.
I'll go ahead and scry. And what I see is when we're out scouting, it'll be what's her name again? The cat lady.
Helena?
Yes, Helena.
It's on the screen. It's in
Wow.
roll 20.
She will rummage in some branches and stumble, but hopefully that'll go unnoticed.
Okay.
Okay.
How about you scry like we're gonna defeat or find these fuckers and maybe, I don't know, find some proof.
I assumed that was like a sneak roll for Helena. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, that's some sneaky shit.
Okay. So whenever Helena rolls
Yep,
sneak,
we find some watchers and just wreck them.
it's got to be realistic. Okay.
Before we head out, I'm gonna kind of confide in the group and let them know that if push comes to shove and we need to fight, that I don't want them to interfere with me fighting with Chelios.
Gonna 1v1 them. Oh, it's gonna be
Yep.
great. Okay.
I want protection, but I don't want anyone else to touch them.
For some reason I watched like 20 minutes of The Patriot the other day, and it was the very end, if you've seen this movie, where like
Yep.
all sorts of fighting's going on, but of course Mel Gibson and Jason Isaacs characters, like the hero and the villain, find each other in the middle of the fight and come running at each other. People get in the way. It's always fun how that happens.
Also, Ashley, you got 3 successes, but you said you only brewed 2 potions. Are you hiding something from us?
Oh, no, I was thinking of how it goes to brew alcohol. So yeah, so I have 3 potions.
Okay.
What are you making all healing?
Yeah.
All right.
Can I get at least one of those?
Yeah, I'll give you 2. I'll keep 1.
Oh, thank God.
So you eventually head out. So the scent that you were picking up for Wiley, and it's been raining something fierce the past few days, and it's overcast today. It's been overcast for the better part of a week. Some days it rains, some days it's a light rain, some days it's just overcast. And right now there's no major rain, but you do catch the best the best option you have is you start heading north. So I'll hop you over to the map, by the way, if we're not on it already. So if you wanted to kind of vaguely keep track of where we were going, the players, that is. So you start heading north away from the badger habitat, away from the two low 2-story concrete buildings, away from the road that heads east to the dog tribe, and into open moors and grassland area. Not much in the way of trees or any sort of vegetation of any kind. You about an hour into your journey, I'll say Hamill and McCloud, the two of you, your ears perk up as you hear a weird song humming coming from this hedgerow bush area off to the east. This sort of feminine voice, and it almost sounds like someone's being strangled at times, and then it resonates in a very beautiful way, and then it's strangling again, constantly shifting between those two kinds of sounds.
Hold up, there's someone here.
If there's anything I've learned from the Lost Woods and Ocarina of Time, it's follow the music.
So go ahead and roll a scout, whoever wants to investigate.
I have a 3 in Scout and a 5 in Wits, so I can do that if anyone else doesn't have a higher value.
My Scout is a doo-doo.
Oops.
I don't think anyone has higher than 3 and 5. I'm pretty sure
Yeah, I
it's
think
pretty much
that's-
maxed
So
out.
Yeah,
Only
that's you.
roll. Okay.
I got it.
So you head over into the direction of the sound, and when you look over this strange maze of different hedges and bushes, you can see a small tent has been set up, something that you would see in like a sporting goods store or something like that these days, but it's patchy in places. There's holes, and you can see that there is a very young and somewhat small marten that is dancing around this fire that she has going, and her face is all covered in this kind of white and blue paint, and she's just singing and singing, and every time she makes a full circle around the fire, she turns back and goes the other way, and that's when the voice changes. So it's like really nice sound, and then it's like playing a record the right way and then playing a record backwards over and over. But when you come up and you see her, she immediately stops and she looks in your direction, these big blue eyes, and she says, "Oh, well, that's just great. Oh, you interrupt me. What's wrong with you? Don't you see I'm working here? Oh, God. You old git."
Wait, so is it just me that's there, or all of us
They're
there?
behind you, and they're slowly behind there, and they're coming up. "Oh, great, got all sorts of company now. Oh, wonderful. You don't see me coming into your place of business and harassing you, do you?"
Well, we couldn't help but notice the noise that you were creating, and
I was
we just came to-
communicating with the spirits, you fool, you daft old man.
Oh, and have a good conversation, did you?
It was
Hamill's gonna
going
run
just
around.
fine.
You sing pretty. You sing pretty. It sounds beautiful.
It sounded like someone running over a weasel. No offense.
I don't mind. I don't really care for the weasels. And then she sees the Hamill coming running up. Again, martens and weasels don't get along. Badgers and wolverines don't get along. A lot of infighting in the badger tribe. But she kind of looks down, and you're about this. She's a little bit bigger than you, but not much. You can tell she's fairly young, but she seems fine. Oh, God. Another weasel just going around. It's just, they just get underfoot, do they? Ugh, it's awful. Anyway, what do you all want? I'm not open for business yet. She stares over at McCloud, kind of cocks her head to the side. "Oh, and I see another one who communes with the spirits has joined into me den. Wonderful. Oh, tell me, brother, what have they been telling you lately? I hear a storm's brewing."
Wait, is it normal that Seers talk to spirits?
No, it's her thing. You do your
Okay,
thing. She
yeah,
does her
yeah.
thing.
Spirits. What are you talking about?
You can see she's got like a scrap totem set up in the middle of the fire. So she took some different skills. Oh yeah, they all come to me and say all these things, and they say a storm's brewing, one we've not seen the like of before. Danger on the horizon. Catastrophe. Armageddon, they say.
That's not something I've seen yet.
Well, open your fucking eyes then, why don't you?
My eyes aren't in my ass.
What the hell have you been looking for, huh? Pairs of underwear on bushes or something like that. Be a little bit more useful, perhaps, with your scry.
Oh, such shit talking.
Yeah. So she looks at you all and she's feeling, okay, well, if you want a scry, it'll cost you. That's why you're here, I'm assuming. No one comes out over here unless they want to talk to you, old Weber, do they?
I mean, Chai, you're always doubting my divinations. What about hearing something from another person?
I think you have me mixed up with someone else. I think you're a valued friend because you help me locate artifacts.
She kind of holds a hand up to her head. Oh, I'm sensing great anger in the old one over here. Oh, yeah. Something, I think something was taken from you, wasn't it? Yes.
Don't need to be a seer to see that this guy's been pissed off lately.
Chai is just looking at the fire wordlessly and just watching the flames dance.
I think a little bit. Okay, not satisfied yet. All right. Thanks. Looks over at Helena. Oh, someone's been a naughty girl recently, haven't they?
Helena will say absolutely nothing at this point.
Oh, the right to remain silent, I hear. Okay, we've got a lively crew.
Hamill's gonna kind of peek out from behind Chai because that's kind of where she went when she was sort of scolded and kind of looked down upon. And she'll kind of pop out and just ask, can you see if my brother's still alive?
Your brother? Well, I don't know. I mean, the spirits need to be satisfied. What you got to trade there, Louis One?
And so she's just gonna like tug on Chai's coat because she never has anything in her bag.
And before Chai does his scavenge check, Chai is gonna, of course, in his grumpy elderly way, say,
What on earth would spirits need with material items? I don't. What is the
no,
connection?
The items for me. That's all. I'm saying they need to be satisfied that I have been properly accommodated. They're very protective of me.
Chai is going to quickly look at the totem that she had set up and see if he can discern like what material it's made from, and I'll just try to scavenge for more of that material to help her with like.
It's like a bunch of different tuna fish cans and cans of beans that have been spliced together, and there's like a twig going through it.
Okay, aluminum I have. Just
okay.
let me hiya. Oh, whoops. There we go. I don't have. Wait. I pushed it. I think. I don't know.
There you go.
I don't have any cans.
2 points of confusion.
Oh, what's that one looking for over there? Oh,
I'm
gonna
find it.
Do we know her name? Can I ask her name?
She mentioned Old Vberg, she said, and she's young, so she's calling herself
Old Vberg.
Yeah.
She's like a young, hot piece of ass, huh?
Young. I mean, if you like crazy, like she
Can't
looks a
say
little
that.
crazy. Yeah.
I'm gonna offer up one single dose, a single use of my neurotoxin that I collected off that winged moray eel, and say it can be useful in certain types of potions and can also be used recreationally if you know the right dose.
Recreationally, sometimes we need to take. Oh, I don't know what happened to her voice. We need. God damn it! I lost it. It's gone. The Irish is gone. Oh, it's not really was very good to begin with, but she takes it and she says, "Well, what do you want me to look for?"
I'm curious about one of our tribe mates. His name is Chelios. He's been racking in some mighty hefty catches lately, and I want to know how he's doing it. If you could maybe foresee, or if you can spy in and give me any sort of useful information, I'd be much appreciated. And then as I say that, I'm going to kind of dip one of my claws into the neurotoxin and just rub it on my gums. Just say this stuff can give you quite a tingle.
So she starts going around and doing her dance again. She does this for a decent amount of time.
After a few minutes, I'm just going to kind of sit down and take it easy and just let her do her thing.
Let's say your mouth probably went numb from the neurotoxin.
About an hour or so later, she finally stops. And she says, "Oh, what a journey they took me on. So your friend Chelios, the big badger fella, is that right? Wears one of those vests over his chest. It makes him hard to see. Is that the one?"
Yes.
Well, I saw him and a few of his mates by one of those fences, and they had a whole cart full of all sorts of, looks like piglets or some such. Well, strangest thing, though, I didn't see any of them had any arrows or anything in them, but they were dead all right. I saw something else. This one's a bit more disturbing, though. So, you all know a wee fella. Kind of holds up her hands, like super small, over like exaggerating a bit. The spirits are telling me he might be a friend of one of yours.
Yes, that's Wiley.
Oh, well, my condolences, sweet little girl. And she's again
What
probably
do you
younger than
mean?
you. Well, I saw some frightening things. I did. I saw him, well, getting tested on and such. He's got these things around his wrists and everything. One of those big robot fellas with some strange human faces poking and prodding on them. It's not
So
happening now, but it's happening soon, I think.
They're gonna trade my friend for meat?
Oh, well, I'm only telling you what I saw. I can't interpret everything for you. These are just the visions as they come to me.
Wait, just so I'm on the same page, is this Wiley or is this Slippy? Did they mention
Slippy was McCloud.
But I thought, well,
It's a
wasn't Slippy also
weasel.
fairly small?
It's
Oh,
a
okay.
weasel. There you go.
Could be Hamilton.
Little. Oh no, he's fucking dead. I'm afraid I can't see you, brother. Oh, yeah. I suppose you're asking me to look after them because you couldn't. She hates it when I do this. But she mentions seeing Wiley on some sort of experimental laboratory. But she says it's not happening now, but in the future.
So,
see it in the future.
as you might expect, Hamill's gonna kind of be running around in circles. We should hurry. We should go before it happens.
You said they were by some kind of fence?
That's what I saw. The friend of this one's over here with the big the vest. They had a big cart filled of all sorts of grunters, I think is what they call them. Delicious they are, especially the wee piglets.
Yeah, whoever's pinging the fence, it sounds like we got to go east.
So there's two fences that should concern your. Actually, yeah, there's just the one fence. Sorry, there's the fence. There's an inner fence that runs along the. You can see it, but I should also mention that there's always inner fences between each habitat. Each habitat is fenced off, so it's not.
And
not everything's on the map.
Yeah, would our scry friend here be able to tell us if it was a bigger? I'm assuming the outer fence is much larger than the inner fence, and
Yeah, it wouldn't be the outer fence. You wouldn't think that.
Oh.
No one gets out, so that would be
gotcha.
an odd thing.
Okay.
Plus, anyone who gets close to it just gets slaughtered.
So then we
But,
have to go west.
I'm gonna talk to this Irish belle and try and see if she can point us in the right direction.
Well, I feel like I've given you a lot to work with already just for a wee bit of poison. I don't know. I think I gave you a 2 for 1. Maybe it's a 3 for 2.
I'm gonna look at any of my friends and see if they have anything else to offer, so I don't have to use all
Well,
of my neurotoxin.
I had originally grabbed the keys because I was going to try to have a conversation with Wiley, but if we're doing this, then I probably don't need the keys for Wiley. So I
Some
would kind of
shiny
look
Volvo keys. Huh?
Shy.
Now we're it's like the Price is Right. How about a new car?
at.
Oh, well, let me see what they say. She consults for another hour. Oh, they seem to be heading towards a place no one's allowed to go. Forbidden place, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
The Western Forbidden Zone.
If that's how you want to interpret it, old man, that's fine. So she takes her keys. She takes her venom. She looks at up and down McCloud. Oh, you poor thing! You just don't know what you're doing, do you? Oh well, goodbye. Now get the fuck out of here. So we're going ahead
towards the Western Forbidden Zone.
So that's kind of a northeasterly trek. There's a trail you're going to pass. You're going to kind of go near the ski lifts. There's a road, some checkpoints. So it's going to get a little bit dangerous as you head eastwardly in that direction. Before you get over, I guess probably about half an hour later, as you're going through the last bits of this kind of moorish, meadowish area, rain starts to fall ever so slightly. I want all of you to roll a D100.
Nice.
Of course it's Derek.
Oh, good. What happens?
As you're all suddenly, as you're kind of talking and whistling and all that kind of stuff, and suddenly you see, as you're looking over at Derek, you look behind, or excuse me, at Tchaikovsky, you look behind, and he's not there anymore. You just see his wagon has just stopped, and you look over, and you probably hear kind of some shouting, and when you look back, you can see that a sinkhole has opened up in the ground, and Tchaikovsky has fallen into it. Tchaikovsky, go ahead and roll a move check with a -1 modifier. Sorry, man.
No.
The dice really do hate you. It's. I think we have.
I'm going to
proof.
extract my revenge on the dice. I will find a way.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay. So even it's a tough fall, but you do manage to contort your body in such a way as to avoid any major bruising. You slide down this slope, this very vertical slope of rock and sand and dirt, and you land on something metallic. And when you look, you think you're on one of those things called automobiles, cars, and you look up and you're a good 20 feet down.
Is it a Volvo?
It is.
Damn it, we just gave away the keys.
Could have got there so much quicker.
But you're about 20 feet down
it's-
in this sinkhole, and you found like this buried car. And you're
it's just like a soul car. It's not like a parking garage or like anything like that.
Go ahead and roll a scout check, -1 modifier, as it's kind of dark and hard to see, and everything's kind of crammed together.
Gotcha. I'll go ahead and push.
Okay. All right. So take 1 point of wits damage, and your confusion as you start scrambling around, and some of the windshields are still in place, and you can see that the insides, some of this car is kind of filled up with dirt and sand and stuff here and there, and it does look as though that you might have discovered a couple of these, as you look out the back of what apparently is a truck. You can see that there is another vehicle that's kind of kicking vertically up, and you can see tires over the edge of like the bed itself, as you're kind of starting to contort your body a bit more.
Okay, so then I'll just call up to the group that didn't fall into the pit of death. There's a lot of vehicles down here. It's like we stumbled across a car lot. I'm okay, by the way. Start describing the make and models of all the vehicles, just going into my love of garbage.
So he's stuck down there, and it's pretty much a vertical, strange climb up. It'd be very difficult for him to get out. What do you all want to do?
Gee, if only I didn't trade my grappling hook for a bow.
No.
Scavenge for some rope and shoot an arrow up here. I'll pull you up.
I don't have my wagon. It's up there.
It's up there.
All right. I'm gonna roll. Oh, we don't. Fuck. We can't roll other people's special skills, huh?
I was about to say, can I tell him what to look for?
Okay. I'll say -2 modifier. If you want.
What if we just push his cart in there and then he can find himself?
Kick it down to him.
Gonna spill everything.
Here's your garbage, you piece of trash.
Falls on his head, gets a concussion. Never see
So
Tchaikovsky again.
-2 mod.
-2 mod.
I don't have any points in scavenge.
So yeah, obviously,
It would
but
be-
scavenge is wits, right? So
So I'm gonna roll
your
1d6.
Does anybody else have more wits?
If anybody wants to help, you can help him, and you can take another.
Oh, I'll definitely help. I'll always try to help.
2d6.
2d6.
As the two of you start going.
All right.
through.
Can I roll some real d6?
Okay. Do you want?
Oh my god, so close.
Do you want to push?
Yeah, why not?
Go for it. Because you just took
1 point of confusion.
1 point of confusion. As you can't find anything of value. There's like a banana
Yeah,
peel.
Tchaikovsky's so annoyed. He's just like, it's literally a claw with some rope on it. He's like, I don't know how to break this down any more simply.
Why don't you go ahead and roll Tchaikovsky if you want. If you want to search some more, you can roll scavenge down here.
Okay.
Is it something that Hamill could go down? Like
Anybody
is
could go
Hamill small
down.
enough?
It's getting back up. That's going to be. I mean, it's like a fairly sheer fall. He can try to climb it. I'm not saying you can't try to climb. You certainly can.
Because I'm thinking about maybe trying to go down and look for some like
Well-
seat belts that may have been disconnected or something like that to try
You want
to
to push?
No,
Okay.
my wits can't take much more damage.
Hamill, if you want to go down, I want you to roll a move test with a -1 mod. You try to climb down.
I think if we fashion the airbags out of the cars down there, we could propel you into the air and I can catch you.
So you see
Yay.
Hamill and her tiny little body able to move down at a fairly effective pace. Tchaikovsky, there's you know that there's the cab of the truck itself you could crawl into, and then if you crawl out, you could also crawl out the back of the cab into the bed, and then you might even be able to access the other car that's laying vertically with the wheels of the front of the car over the top of the bed itself of the truck. So there's a couple places you could go and peek around as Hamill comes rushing down to help you look for things.
Yeah, I mean, if since I have nothing to get out with, yeah, might as well explore some more.
Okay, so where are the two of you looking?
I'm looking to try to find like either like seatbelt to kind of put together to make something that looks like a rope, or look in the cars to see if there's any materials in the cars, in the trunks, anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to be doing, is looking for discarded items in each of the vehicles.
Okay. So you start peeking through, and you do find seatbelts, no problem. So you can find 2 sets of seatbelts in the truck. As you're digging around, you find this black tubular metallic item that you kind of look at, Hamill, and maybe you pocket for later. It looks kind of interesting, fairly heavy, kind of shakes a little bit. And Tchaikovsky, when you climb out and kind of look around the next one, you notice that the vertical car seems to be it kind of seems to be sitting on top of something else. And when you climb to the back. It's like a hatchback, and when you climb into the hatchback, you can look out of it. Do you have any sort of anything to give you light at this point? You're not really getting any light from above. Do you have any kind of light source on you?
I can scavenge in my trench coat.
Okay. I'll say -1 mod since you don't
Okay.
actually have your.
Just hit the headlights in the car.
Yeah, the batteries are still charged, right?
Yeah, right.
Who knows?
I'll try to push it.
Oh my.
This is when he dies. Okay. Yeah, looks like you left your tinderbox or something in the in the actual
Cart.
cart upstairs, the wagon upstairs. Going through the back of this hatchback, you do, however, find a blanket, which could be useful. So you kind of get a hold of that. The hatchback looks to have like 3 seat belts you can cut together. When you put them all together, you're probably sitting somewhere around 12 to 15 feet worth of rope. The two of you could try to climb up with some negative of the -1 move modifier if you want to try to do that.
Question,
Sure.
Derek. You get 2 because you only have 2 animal powers, so you get 2 more today, right, Jeff?
What? I'm sorry?
Or do you only get, how many feral points do you start with?
You start with the number that you have animal powers.
+2.
You gain.
Plus
You
2.
gain how many animal
Or
powers?
plus,
you
plus
have
animal power. I
per
keep
session.
saying that. I always do that. Yeah.
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 So it adds for each day or session or whatever.
So my
Each time-
question is, Derek, did you add your 2? Because you obviously haven't gone feral to get another one.
And every time you take trauma, you also take FP. For every point of trauma you take, you should also be taking a point of a feral point as well.
So then in the 3 wits that I've lost today, I would get 3 more feral points?
Correct.
Oh, then yeah, I have. Okay, cool. If I have feral points to spend, I can just use my tail
So
to.
yeah, so now you have 5 feral points, so you can use your tail to
Okay.
get out of here.
So the two of you can go ahead and roll moves to get back up, unless you want to continue searching. But you do notice out the back of the hatch that it seems to be hitting some kind of metallic. So it's not a car; it's just sort of this flat metallic sheet.
Ooh.
You're not really sure what it is.
I want to take a second to look at it.
Roll a
No,
comp-
just leave it.
You can roll a comprehend.
It's probably
if you
not
want.
important.
You can roll a comprehend if you
Can
like.
I help her with that?
Yeah. I see the two of you can either roll separate ones or one can assist the other for a mod if you want.
I don't have comprehend and I have 3 in wits. How about you?
I have a 2 in wits currently because of the damage, but a 3 in comprehend.
Okay, so take +1 mod on your comprehend, Tchaikovsky, as you call Hamill over to peek.
Right.
As the two of you are
Try
Derek.
pushing. I'm gonna throw my monitor out the window.
Oh, no.
Oh, come on! This is
another point of
asinine.
confusion.
The statistical improbability is
It's really
mathematically
bad.
infuriating.
You, sir, are terrible at rolling dice.
I don't have control over it. That's the
That's
worst
fair.
part.
It's fair. It's fair.
I'm now down to 1 wits, but I've got a whole lot of feral
Hey,
points.
Dustin, how's it going, man? So as you poor Tchaikovsky just can't roll a success to save his life. So as you are trying to look at this, it's a panel, like a metal sheet panel that seems to be, connected to another. It's there's all sorts of rivets that are driving into it. You're not really sure, but as the two of you are there, you can hear like a click, like this weird kind of clickety sound, kind of coming from it. And both of you start to feel a little nauseous. Both of you take a rot point.
Okay.
And even though you don't know what this is, you do know that feeling, as you've been in some dangerous areas before where rot has started to pervade, and you realize that if you don't get the hell out of this sinkhole quickly, this could go very bad for you.
Hamill's gonna run around. We should go. We should go. We should go. This feels bad.
Okay. Okay. So roll your move checks, -1 mod to get up. You said you had your tail. What did your tail do again?
So yeah, when rolling move, jump, climb, blah blah blah, every FP I spend modifies it by +2. So I'll spend.
You might want to just put like all of them in there.
Well, if I do that, then I'll get a fucking 1 and go feral for the 3rd, 4th, 5th time. I don't even know at this point. So I'll spend 2.
Second? Okay.
No, it'll be 3rd.
Okay. So Hamill, you get up. You're exhausted by the time you do get up there. You've taken 2 points of fatigue. You do have that black tube in your pocket. What about you there, Tchaikovsky?
Oh, what a surprise.
Told you to spend more, bro.
Just let me die. This is, I'm
okay.
so.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Good God.
You
Just
get
take
up.
2 points of fatigue and then roll for your feral points.
You get up.
I hope that I roll feral.
You climb up your.
Oh, look at that bullshit.
Nice 6 is there.
So,
Go feral. You didn't go feral.
both of my 6s.
Wow.
It's the worst. You're the worst.
Oh my God.
You do eventually get up, but I'm gonna say you're broken from fatigue.
Okay.
So completely.
And that's
depleted
food, right?
fatigue. Fatigue
That's
is water,
actually.
But you do have
Okay.
these 2 new items. You don't feel great because of the rot. You look back down and you can see the cars below. But
Hamill will give you 2 water.
okay,
It's okay. I actually have plenty of grub and water.
okay.
Okay.
So you drink up,
Hamill will drink a water.
take a little
You
break.
do, you do need a heal check, though, I think.
Yeah, because I'm broken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you get
Yeah.
broken, you do. Yeah. So go ahead and roll it,
Okay.
Helena.
Tchaikovsky is currently just like cursing
I'm
the gods of
so
this universe.
sorry.
Helena, don't even bother healing him. Just leave him broken.
Just push
Yeah,
him back in.
just let me-
get out of here. Just keep his wagon and push him back in.
Put me in the wagon and send me off like a Viking funeral.
Nice.
You're
There you go.
super
Nice
good.
successes.
Great roll.
Oh wow, that's what a success looks like. That's a degree number.
Derek, you see what she did? That's what you need to try to do next time. All right, so you've collected a blanket.
Ashley just flaunting.
You collected a blanket, and you know what that is. But then you also have this kind of black tubular thing. Not entirely clear what this is. Roll a comprehend test, somebody. Whoever wants to do it.
How about we all roll comprehend but Derek?
I already have a headache from work, and all this laughing is just like
You're making it
messing
better.
my brain up. Yeah.
All right. Not really sure yet what it is there. Oh my gosh, Derek, just stop rolling, man. Just stop
There
rolling.
you go, Longley.
Hey, I got it.
Long, you've probably seen this in the lodge before, as they tend to have some finer choice artifacts and items. This is a flashlight. When you flick it on, and it does,
Yeah, you could turn it on. It
does
gives you
actually
light.
seem to work. But you also know that you got to be careful with how long you leave it on.
The thing I could have used to look in the back of the hatchback. Oh, that's good.
Sorry, man.
I mean, you can go back down.
I might as
push
well
it.
at this point. I can just yell to you guys. Oh, I know what it is, and then we'll just rot my.
This is Sparta, and kick him down. Okay. Okay. So we'll say that we're kind of past our time at this point. And so the day is getting long between your stop at the Seer, between your fall into the sinkhole, some of your travel, and just prepping to leave. The clouds begin to get even darker. The sun starts to go down in the west. You hear thunder and lightning starting to crackle. You find a place to make camp for the night, and we will pick up there hopefully next week if we play. So we'll end at that point. Let's do XP.
I
XP.
definitely did
My
something to help
lord.
my PC buddy.
All right, let's go through these. Oh my God, Derek, that was.
I demand pity XP. I demand XP for statistical
I
improbability.
gave you pity items. I gave you a blanket and a flashlight.
so, yeah, so I can hide under the blanket and use the flashlight to light up under the blanket.
It's autumn. We're coming to winter soon, so you're gonna need that blanket soon. All of you get +1 for the participating. Did anyone want to make the case that they sacrifice or risk something for their tribe specifically?
No.
Yeah,
No,
probably
I don't
not.
think.
Resistance. Derek, I think, yeah. I mean, you were definitely trying to keep the badgers alive.
Yes, when I lost the
Yeah.
moonshine. Was it actually moonshine since I already lost
Was
those
it
items?
pee?
I was gonna roll.
Yeah.
I was gonna roll a die whenever anyone drank it, and we were gonna.
I
go
was
from there.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd do that when I gave them the jugs and like, oh, they accidentally drank like raw acid. I don't know what you make alcohol with.
I think it was gonna be like it was either gonna be like formaldehyde or something. And you just like chugging
Oh
formaldehyde.
no!
All right, so you get +1 for risking something for the resistance. Does anybody else want to make a case?
I did not.
Okay, PC buddy, anyone do something?
I did. I went down in the pit to get chai.
Okay, good. Take your +1. That's fair. Sacrifice or risk something for the NPC you want to keep safe. I would say you went out looking for Slippy. So I'll give you +1 long for that.
Okay.
Sacrifice or risk something to mess with an NPC you hate. Anybody?
I mean, the whole thing we're doing is for the NPC that Logan and I hate.
But did you
haven't done it
sacrifice
yet.
or risk something yet?
Well, when we had to barter with the Seer, they lost neurotoxin and something else.
You traded something and you got information back. I don't know if that's
Some would say trading is a sacrifice.
you got 2 bits of information,
Mhm.
We got
and she
lots
gave
of
it to
info.
you at cost. At a
We just
better
have
cost.
to figure out a way to bring back some proof.
And then to sacrifice or something to reach your big dream. Anyone want to make a case for that?
Not
I
yet.
just
dream-
asked questions
Okay.
toward it. I didn't sacrifice anything yet.
Okay.
Maybe next session when I dump all my FP into Chelios's face.
And then go feral and just run off.
Worth it. I don't care.
Yeah, right. Logan, how many times have you gone feral? 2, 3?
Twice,
I think you.
yeah.
Okay, I've gone 3 times now, so I am now the new feral leader.
Going feral's not so
Oh,
bad. It's just he went feral and got the worst result twice. Like the
Yeah.
one where you go off and I have complete
You know
control.
what I
Oh,
Totally-
I've
oh,
gone
never mind.
I've
More
gotten
than
one
Yeah.
twice.
Oh, okay.
Like completely feral, but yeah.
I totally
I've got-
forgot that I wasn't supposed to talk, but we had time in between.
No, we had-
There's
we had
time.
multiple
There's
days.
there's
Yeah.
weeks in between each operation. Okay.
I was like, oh shoot, I wasn't supposed to say any of that.
Okay. So all right. So that let's close this down then. So you got your XP. I will run the calculations and stuff, and I'll update the sheet for our resistance stuff. So I'll put that up there sometime soon. When are we playing next? I know that the 23rd, the Saturday, was a possibility for Logan when you sent me your schedule. Is that still a possibility?
Yeah, I'm checking right now, but I don't think the schedule's changed at all. So
Okay. I know Derek, you had to check on the 23rd to see if you might have had a conflict.
Yeah, the 23rd is good. I can do that.
Okay.
yeah, I'm off the 23rd.
Sweet. So Saturday, 23rd, 6 p.m. Was it Central, 4 p.m. Pacific for us? Because we have to do the earlier hour for Ashley, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We might be getting a guest if Matt comes and plays. Matt from Grim and Perilous. He's been dying to come play some mutantyearzero, and he says Saturdays. Hopefully, so I don't know if he's got a game that night or not, but hopefully we can convince him to come play his Moose character with us, and so you have some more help. So we'll take a look at that. Okay, so then catch us next week on Monday. Melissa and I will be on this channel playing more Heart: The City Beneath. Awesome and amazingly fun game. So come check us out 9 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Pacific. Catch our podcast, Adventures in Lollygagging, anywhere you get podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. Drops every Monday around 7 a.m. Pacific, around there, something like that.
If you like it, leave us a review.
Yeah, like, subscribe, review, all that crazy stuff. Subscribe to the channel, etc. Let's see what else. Thursday next week, we're starting a brand new adventure on Zweihander, so come check it out. We're making characters this weekend, so you get to get in the ground floor of like a brand new like month to 2 month adventure. So it's not like an incredibly long story. You just get it there and back. And that's it for now. And we will catch you, if those of you watching the mutantyearzero, next Saturday. Let's raid somebody. Let's see. I think Chuck might have his Bloody Marches game going. He does indeed. So let's give him a quick little raid.
Bye, everybody.
So thanks everybody for hanging out with us.
Bye.